Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Amisha.
Hi, this is Gayatri, and welcome to another episode of Here Goes Everything with Us. Today, we are going to talk about a very important topic that is, again, very close to our hearts. And I feel that we should talk more about it because it's important that we create more
Yeah,
awareness. Because we did not have a lot of awareness about these things back in the day when we were teenagers,
yeah,
perhaps. So, the topic that we're going to discuss about today is all about women's health and our journey to understand more about our bodies and why it reacts the way it reacts and it hurts the way it hurts. But men and anybody else as well is more than welcome to listen to it to know more about the women around them. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, Amisha, let's talk about menstrual hygiene, menstrual
hmm,
equity, pain management during periods. Okay. When I'm menstruating, it's very difficult for me. The first day, especially, the pain is so bad that I cannot move. I cannot sit still. It's so bad that it affects my mental health, obviously, because like I'm in so much pain. Obviously, I'm
yeah,
crying and my head feels like it's gonna
yeah,
blast. And for the longest time, when I was in my teenage years, I had no idea that there is a way to manage this pain, and I am not supposed to
yeah,
hurt constantly for 7 to 8 hours. So I think the fact that my school nurse used to tell me that painkiller nahi lete,
yeah,
dawai nahi
yeah,
lete, was the fact where I felt like I need to hurt this much, and that's how I become strong.
yeah,
But that's extremely bullshit because now that I'm an adult and I can research about it
yeah,
and see good
yeah,
doctors, they do tell that it's extremely okay. It's more than okay that you should take painkillers for your period,
hmm,
obviously. And in case like you need to take more than one or two painkillers, then they do recommend that you should get tests
yeah,
done. But normally, if your pain gets away in one or two tablets, that is good
yeah,
enough, right? And I feel so bad that the teachers and people around us used to shame us for taking painkillers,
yeah.
which is extremely bad because it's not good for my overall well-being, my lifestyle. The quality of
Hmm.
life deteriorates because of
Yeah,
that.
that's so true. I feel like people have normalized period pain so much in a way that, it's normal that
Mm.
women experience so much pain during periods, but it is actually not normal. We have been told that yes, when you get periods, you get cramps, it hurts, but nobody ever really tells you how much it should hurt or how much it should not hurt. So growing up, I always used to feel like, okay, this is the normal amount of pain. Okay, this is normal, but actually it is not normal. So it's bizarre actually. And in fact, many people do not know that you just don't get cramps in your stomach. I feel like you don't
Yeah.
realize it काफी late तक कि it's not just your stomach. Some people get अपने back में cramps. There are your legs hurt, your thighs hurt. किसी को headaches भी
Yeah.
होते हैं.
Mm.
सबका अपना अपना symptom है, but we have not been taught
Yeah.
well about this topic.
Hmm.
In a
Yeah.
chapter about reproduction, there was a paragraph on menstruation. There was never a chapter on menstruation, right? Because why would there be?
And like I remember I had a very bad cramp, right? Like hours and hours of pain. And when it did get better, I had to meditate because my head
Yeah,
was like my body was so worn down
yeah,
after all feeling all of that
yeah,
physical pain that I had to do something to calm my mind after that.
yeah,
And like with the painkillers also, it's like if your pain has already started, right, and if you take the medicine, then it will take forever for your pain to get better,
yeah,
and then you need to take your medicine right before it starts or right when you start feeling it so that it doesn't go too bad for you.
yeah.
Like there is so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. I do not experience a lot of pain, but I know that you do. And every time you are on your periods and you text me, I'm like, okay, you are having a horrible time. I'm going to give you space during
Yeah.
this time. I'm going to let you be because it's
Yeah.
it's it's really tough for you. I know that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I also feel that people around us, they do not really realize what it is like. Of course, they will never understand it as well as we do, but they, I think for them, it's nothing. For them, it's just something that's happening in passing, but it actually takes a toll on your day-to-day life, like as in when you are actually menstruating, it actually takes a toll on your activity, your everything,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And sometimes I feel that when I was in school or even college, even women used to shame each
Yeah,
other for having bad cramps or taking painkillers
yeah,
for your cramps. And it was so bizarre.
yeah,
Like, and I think when I was in school, I do remember that since us girls did not have a lot of knowledge about it, we would also unknowingly would not be there for other girls who were going through
yeah.
that.
That's so
And that
true.
is something that is something that is extremely unfortunate,
Yeah,
because I wish there was a way for us to understand that
yeah,
this is the time when we need to be there for each other and stuff.
yeah.
So even that movie that came out,
Hmm.
Padman, so Akshay Kumar and Radhika Apte, it was a really nice movie, right? It definitely generated like a lot of awareness about menstrual health
Yeah,
and availability of menstrual products, and how rare it is in communities where they actually speak about it
yeah,
openly. And so I know Miss Universe Harna Sandhu's campaign was also about menstrual equity,
yeah,
and then a Miss World from India, Manushi Chiller, her campaign was also about menstrual equity. And I remember like going through the things that they've done,
yeah,
and they were talking about how in so many places women still use cloth.
yeah.
2023,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
they still use cloth, and they use mitti,
yeah, yeah. I
Amisha.
know. Yeah,
Can you imagine, like,
yeah,
and it's a time when you are more like you're so sensitive, and and doctors say that you can also catch infections
yeah.
because
Definitely.
you have to be very hygienic during that time. And imagine people who are using cloth and mitti at that point of time.
Yeah,
And just when sometimes I feel, oh my god, like, again, we are so privileged that we can at least sit here and talk about our struggles, and we can like post it online where people can't even talk about it to their
yeah,
mothers,
yeah. That's so
which is
true.
so
That
that
is,
is very
yeah. I
disheartening.
feel like it's high time, that we recognize that that menstrual products or sanitary products are actually a need.
But a law was passed where the taxes on sanitary pads and menstrual products were removed
Hmm.
altogether.
Hmm.
But that was, I think, a win in some way at least. So
Yeah.
that's good. And like people have really bad symptoms.
Hmm.
Like sometimes you can also, if some kind of weird situation happens inside, and then we are bleeding for like 14 days on a stretch.
Yep.
And during periods you also feel like vomiting, and you also feel so hot-headed. And the hot flashes don't just come during menopause, they come very much during your period as well,
Hmm.
right? And the feeling of just so much anxiety. So yeah.
Yeah.
um
And plus, I think PCOS and PCOD needs more awareness. Even though, yes, we are talking about it more and more these days, I feel people can still know more about it, right? There are many symptoms of PCOS and PCOD that many people do not know about still. I think it also relates to body shaming as well. I feel that many people, they casually shame people because of their bodies, especially women, but they do not realize that many of these women are actually going through PCOS and PCOD. And these people don't know the symptoms of PCOS, PCOD, and these health issues, women's health issues. Hence, they're oblivious. They continue to be ignorant.
Truly.
Yeah, I remember last year, I think, I got my periods for 15, 20 days. I mean,
Hmm.
oh my God. It was the first time it
Yeah.
had happened, and
Hmm.
I had lost it because
Of
it's
course.
not easy, not just for your body. Plus, you have to wear pads every day. I've not started using menstrual cups yet. So I'm wearing pads, and pads are not good for your vagina. You get so many rashes, not just on your vagina, actually on your bum as well. It's just so annoying, Gayatri, these things. And then because of these things, because of such hormonal issues, you also experience depression, anxiety, so many mental health issues. You sometimes are not able to focus on your day to day life, like work, your hobbies.
Yeah, and iron level इतना नीचे चला जाता है
Hmm.
because you're bleeding constantly.
Yeah, you can see it in your face. Dull हो जाता है face.
Yeah, like dull हो जाता है, pale हो जाता है.
Yeah.
There is no sense of life, and like you feel so lethargic. And I still come across women who are uh, definitely like in their, I don't know, 40s, 50s, and they say that, oh, ये तो बस गंदा खून है.
What?
Like this is a notion that it's just ganda khoon.
I've never heard of this.
Wow, you're a very lucky girl. I mean, it's extremely sad that the right analogy is also not known,
Yeah.
and and why it happens
Yeah.
is also not known by
Yeah. Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
They
That's
say
so
that,
true.
I've heard people say that, oh, it's just a dirty blood that comes up in your breasts,
Yeah.
and it's just dirty blood in general.
Yeah.
Well, there is nothing dirty about it,
Yeah.
right?
Nothing at all. And I think there are still many places where you're not allowed to go to temples, or you're not allowed to go to enter the kitchen
Yeah,
when you are on your periods.
yeah,
Temples wala I feel is
yeah.
still there a lot. I
Hmm.
feel that
Hmm.
even my family, if there's something religious happening at my house, or if, we have to go to a temple, so they'd ask all the women, if you're
Hmm.
menstruating. So if you are, then you stay
Hmm.
at home or you stay away.
Because you're impure. I mean,
Exactly.
what
Yeah.
is the sense behind
Yeah.
that? Like, it is extremely unfortunate, and it's important that we keep questioning these things, um,
Yeah.
because this is not something that we want to pass on to younger
Yeah,
girls.
it doesn't make sense. I mean, ask anybody. Ask
Hmm.
in the old times, the reason probably why they were not allowed to go to the kitchen, enter the kitchen, or go to the temple was because they were using cloth instead of pads.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
probably the hygiene part would be
Yeah. Okay.
the
Hmm.
issue, right? So like
Yeah, but they twist it
they
now, and
twist
they
it
twist
कि
it.
भगवान नहीं चाहते
Yeah.
कि आप जाओ.
Well, that is
Yeah.
extremely twisted.
Nobody knows the reason. They're
Hmm.
just blindly following what other
Hmm.
people from our past have been following.
Moreover, there are times when I feel like my body is really strong when I'm down, and some days my body is like, when I feel very strong even when I'm on my period,
Yeah.
and I feel I can even exercise. I can go about my day and not even feel like I'm on my period. But there are days when your body is extremely, extremely sensitive to everything, just
Yeah.
everything, which you are not. It's like you are getting back on track with your life, and you are feeling good health wise, and you're feeling finally like, okay, my emotions are stable, and then boom, uh there's another 4 5 days of just constant bleeding, and then working through that. Even I remember when I was in seventh or eighth, when I had just started bleeding for the first time.
Hmm.
I got periods for 14 days as well. It was
Oh.
so tough. Yeah, it was so tough. And then I had to see a gynecologist, and then,
Yeah.
yeah, there was treatment involved and everything. But
Hmm. Yeah, and I feel that there's another myth about periods is that you should not exercise or work out when you are on
hmm,
your periods. Many people do not do that. Many people do not engage in any physical activity during periods, but it is actually a myth. Sure, you should
hmm,
not, if your body doesn't allow it, you should not indulge
hmm,
in like very hardcore exercises. But basic exercises, basic workouts are actually recommended. They actually help
hmm, hmm,
with
hmm,
your pain as well, and with your
hmm.
emotions as well.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
yeah.
if your body allows, then go
Yeah,
for it. But if
exactly.
it doesn't,
Yeah, then don't
but
do
if
it.
it doesn't, then it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, mostly, even I feel like these days I'm not able to work out when I am on my period. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was in college and we had like a dance competition thing,
Hmm.
and I got down right before that. and that means that because I just got down, I'm gonna have incredible pain.
Hmm.
And that happened. So, and I remember like I had no choice and I had to dance. So I went for it despite the pain and agony and everything. And I just danced and did my performance. And when I got back, like there was no pain. Like maybe that performance was just for 1 minute or 30 seconds or 2 minutes
Hmm.
max to max. But because I had to push, I had no option. uh,
Yeah.
it just vanished, and I was like, oh my god, like in normal circumstances I would never push myself like that,
Yeah.
because I would be soft with myself and
Yeah.
I can't do this. But I had no option and it worked out for me. But you can't always push yourself like that. Like I
Yeah.
was in a situation where I did and it worked out, and looks like it does. Like extreme, like hardcore exercise, even it did. Like I don't know how it happened.
Yeah.
Like it's so bizarre, but
Yeah.
it did. But most of the time, it's very difficult to find the motivation or inspiration or the strength
Yeah.
even to
Yeah.
move.
I feel like a lot of people don't even know what PMS is.
Hmm.
Premenstrual syndrome, for people listening to
Hmm.
this who do not
Hmm.
know. Premenstrual syndrome is a thing, and people don't know about
Yeah.
this. Even women, many women do not know about
Hmm.
PMS.
Hmm.
And first, you tell me, what do you experience during PMS?
So I actually went to the doctor,
Okay.
a gynecologist, because I was having a really difficult time with periods, and on my prescription, she wrote premenstrual syndrome, PMS, bracket में dysmenorrhea. So it is a real thing. Like PMS का medical, like ज़्यादा medical term is dysmenorrhea, ऐसे ही
Oh,
बोलते
okay.
हैं.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So ठीक है, so it's a real thing, and for that, like a different kind of medication is there. And when I am
Hmm.
PMSing, definitely a lot of emotional roller coaster is there.
Yep.
I feel like, जैसे Voldemort है ना, and Death Eaters, उन्होंने मेरे वजाना पे अटैक कर लिया है. It's like I feel like that. I feel like I need to cut this part out for the time being, and like just feeling so sensitive about everything, just feeling like s- so pukish, feeling like so uncomfortable, diarrhea even. I also get difficulty in breathing
Hmm.
on my first day.
Yeah, yeah. Emotional roller coaster for me, yes. I think majorly that this is the only thing that I experience. But
Hmm.
in major heights, like, I mean, if I'm crying the whole day, I know that I am getting my periods in 3, 4 days. I know that because
Hmm.
I do cry the
Hmm.
entire day. Even smallest of things. You see those memes right on the internet. You see those reels as well, where it's like women
Hmm.
in her women a few days before their periods crying while watching a cat video. It's actually true.
Hmm.
It is true.
Hmm.
You do sometimes cry while watching cat videos or such
Yeah.
stupid videos. And
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just unbearable, honestly, because
The emotional
yeah,
toll that it takes. I think so. Obviously, scientifically, तो ये है ही कि hormonal चीज की
yeah,
वजह से we do experience a lot of emotions and stuff. But I asked my therapist also that why is it like I so when I am feeling very hurt, or if I am feeling very emotional about something during my period, now when it's over, is it because is it period emotion, or is it that it actually affects me? Like
yeah,
how
yeah.
should I
Oh my
diagnose
God.
it? Like
Yes.
I don't even know if it's real.
Yeah,
So, and then she said that it's definitely some part of it is real.
yeah,
Okay, it is like if you are already having like emotional struggles with something, it will heighten
yeah,
3 times, 4 times when you are on your period. So
yeah,
it's not exactly false. I mean,
yeah.
it's there, but it gets a lot more difficult during pure periods.
Yeah, exactly. It does get confusing sometimes that, like, am I overreacting, or is it actually happening, or is it actually, something that I should be worried about?
I mean, on a funny note and on like seriousness aside, I can't believe कि pregnant ना होने की इतनी बुरी punishment हो सकती है.
It's not easy being a woman.
And like I get breast pain also around periods. So वो अलग टेंशन है कि अच्छा अब ये periods की वजह से हो रहा है और like is there
Yep.
something
Yep.
off with my
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
it gets really bad.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I usually experience chest pains when I'm experiencing anxiety. So initially when
Hmm.
it started happening, so this was my same, this was my reaction. Like, is what is it? Like, am I experiencing a heart attack? Is it breast cancer or something? Or
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is
yeah.
it?
Like, yeah, it's tough. Like, I know women, some women around me, mothers of my friends or my neighbors who had breast cancer,
Yeah.
and some of them said that they did notice abnormal growth and they chose to ignore it. And I think that is something that we should not ignore. And even
Yeah.
like gynecologists now, they say that you can check your breasts for
Yeah.
early signs of something abnormal, like
Yeah.
especially they say after 3-4 days after your period, like just after it ends,
Hmm.
like you should touch it. It's okay to
Yeah.
touch your own fucking body. Just
Yeah.
fucking touch it
Yeah.
and feel it and see if you feel like it should, like you should not feel lumps and it should
Yeah.
feel soft and yeah.
And I feel like, and if you're not able to figure out, if it's actually
Hmm.
if it's actually a lump or something, you should still go and see a doctor.
Hmm.
It is better to be safe than sorry. And
Hmm.
it's actually pretty serious among women, and actually not just women,
Hmm.
everybody,
Hmm.
men, women, other genders, anybody can get breast cancer, but it is more prevalent amongst women,
I
right?
didn't know men also
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
And this recently everybody also talks a lot about HPV
Hmm.
vaccine for cervical cancer,
Yeah.
right? So that is also I think something that we can, like we should go to the gynecologist. I mean, like even going to the doctor sometimes it's such a task because
Yeah,
it's tough to find a good gynecologist
it is.
who's actually like good and is comfortable talking about sexual health and not judge you
Yeah.
if you are sexually active, because
Yeah.
most of the gynecologists
Yeah.
judge you.
Yeah.
How old are you sexually
Are you
active?
married?
And
They
who,
don't even ask that. They're like, are you married? Okay, if you're not married, then okay, we'll
hmm,
assume that you're not sexually
yeah, yeah,
active.
yeah. So yeah, I really think that that culture among doctors like
Yeah.
should change, man. Like it would
Yeah.
make things so much better. Like with HPV vaccine, it was like I was in college when I got the HPV vaccine.
And I feel like ये awareness ना अभी आई है
Hmm.
about HPV vaccine and cervical
Hmm.
cancer. Because my mom did not know about this, and many women from a parents' generation, I feel they do not know about cervical cancer
Hmm.
because, yeah. So, still, anybody who's listening, if you have a vagina, if
Yes.
you have a uterus,
Go get it smeared.
yep.
Yeah, and and I also remember like when I was in college, and actually school, not college per se. Like I when I remember the time when I was in a space where girls supporting other girls was not a thing at all. In fact, support to chodo, they would try to bring you down even more.
Yeah.
When that was the culture that we were in, I remember like we had this day where we had to wear white uniform, and I got a little red thing on my skirt, and this
Hmm.
girl saw, she was in my class, and she
Hmm.
walked away. Like,
Oh my
imagine,
god.
imagine the heart you need to have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that was interesting. So, guys and girls, and everybody, if you're listening, just dude, be supportive, man. Like, just
Yeah.
tell people.
It's a normal thing. Stains are pretty normal. Normal
Pretty
fucking
normal.
thing. If you see it,
Yeah,
don't get scared by it. It won't bite you. So
it
please
won't
go
bite
tell
you.
the person that,
Hmm.
they have a stain because they might feel embarrassed about it. I was also reading about heart attacks. So long so
बहुत medical
long
research.
no, no. So long, long, long back, I was watching this TV show called Grey's Anatomy. ठीक है?
अरे अरे
Now, उसमें there was this one particular scene where this woman
Hmm.
who's doctor, she thought that she's experiencing a heart attack. She's going to get a heart attack. So she goes to a hospital and she gets it checked. So everybody, the doctors say that no, she is not getting a heart attack, that she's absolutely fine, that there are no symptoms of heart attack. But then 15-20 minutes later, she gets a heart attack. The point was that women do not experience the same symptoms of heart attack as men do or other people do.
Hmm.
So the symptoms of heart attack in women can be very mild, they are not
Hmm.
as visible. And many
Hmm.
people actually don't know this. And I think it's such an important information that we should know about.
Yeah.
Right. So, what I had read about heart attacks earlier was that there's some pain in your left arm, you experience pain in your chest, and then you sweat a lot. These are the four basic symptoms, right? But this is not it for women. There are so many symptoms, and all most of them are very mild or invisible, sort of. So, you don't catch them as easily. So
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
being aware about such things is also important, not just for women, but for everybody to make sure that
Hmm.
women around them as
Hmm.
well
Hmm.
are
Hmm.
safe.
So, I mean, that's absolutely right, and I also feel that women on different days require different things, and women actually have like different physical, emotional needs according to the cycle as well. Like, it's actually very true. And, like a lot of women in my life who are like my grandmothers or my aunts and my mom, even, I feel like when they had their menopause, they didn't know that now they require special attention. They need to take care
Yeah.
of their bodies in a different way, because now the body is like, because इसमें ऐसा होता है ना कि like your hormones are going down, and like your skin, your body starts sagging, and like you need to basically take extra care, extra vitamins. And
Yeah.
the time around menopause is extremely difficult for women. It's
Yeah.
very confusing, and you get hot flashes out of nowhere. It's very difficult, and I feel like I don't want to be in that situation where I don't know what's happening, or like I want to learn more about my body, more
Yeah.
about how to take care of myself and enjoy my femininity, but not curse it. Ki, why am I a woman? Why is this
Yeah.
happening? Like I know it is happening, and I think that's the beauty of femininity. I mean, I know it sucks. It sucks for me so much, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I feel we can all say that we're still like proud to be women and proud of how we can do what other people can do while we are bleeding.
Yeah.
And even like I was listening to a few podcasts, and they are hosted by people who live in America, and they were talking about their pregnancy journey. And they're told that like they would tell doctors a certain thing that they're feeling, and the doctors would dismiss it on grounds that like they like just the fact that they're women and they're in their head, and like not getting that proper care and attention and proper assistance, and just the pain management, etc. It's very difficult, it's very tough.
Yeah.
And and
And
with pregnancy, it's like, and I really like how Priyanka Chopra chose surrogacy. Like
yeah.
I really love that for her. And but it's not as accessible for people like us.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
as accessible, as feasible. It's not as financially accessible also,
Yeah, it
like
is not. Even
surrogacy.
adoption isn't.
Adoption isn't. So all of these like great methods are again available to the rich, just
Yeah.
how the even the like the basic menstrual products are available to
Yeah.
like people like us, but not
Yeah.
just. And like even freezing your eggs is not
Hmm.
as accessible as
Yeah.
you'd want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I think so. Just the main motive of this episode was to make sure that we, as women, are supportive of other women's health, and not shame other women for going through a different kind of pain that you might not go through. And I also think like how people say, oh, okay, women's health, but like even men have like prostate cancer, and dude, everybody has issues. You have to
Yeah.
pick your battles, you have to pick things that you want to talk about,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
stop shaming other people and saying कि oh इनका भी तो ये है, अरे सबका सब कुछ है, but you can't, but when somebody is talking about their
Yeah.
struggles, yeah, we understand कि सबके हैं, तुम्हारे भी है, but there is like a time to listen, and there's a time to
Yeah.
talk about your stuff, and nobody's saying that you don't have issues, everybody has, but here,
Yeah.
like, let women have that platform to speak, because they didn't have for the longest time,
Yeah.
and their health was not taken seriously for the longest time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. All right, then. This was it for this episode, and we'll see you next week. Till then, have fun.
Yes, till then, take care of yourselves.
Bye.
Bye.